Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome everyone to this afternoon's expert evening. Let me just turn on my camera. Um, I hope you see me. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Avery. I'm today's host for today's expert evening, which is focus management, optimizing your space, time, and mind. I'm Avery. I'm from the Philippines, and you can call me Av. Sorry about that. Nabubulol ako. I'm the senior agent for Upwork's community and social support. So if you want to visit the Upwork community, you can go to community.upwork.com and interact with other users of Upwork, both clients and freelancers. And I'm also an ambassador in Manila for Upwork. So as an ambassador, I do these offline and online events. I do my webinars, and we also invite expert speakers to our workshops. So this event today, what we have today is an expert event where we have an expert speaker who will be talking to us later about focus management. If you're here, Jobert, can you just say hi to everyone and show yourself? But I'll have a more in-depth introduction about him later. But please, Jobert, just say hi so that everyone can hear you.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Let me turn on my camera as well.
There
Ayun.
you go. Yeah, that's nice.
Hello.
So Jobert will be here. He will be talking to us about optimizing your space, time, and mind. And I will be introducing him later. But before that, let me just talk about our agenda for today. So before Jobert talks, we'll have updates on Upwork. So I'll be sharing like a few updates that we have that we rolled out recently on the website, and then I'll have the introduction. I'll be introducing um, Job. Sorry, Job, hindi ko na na-edit this agenda slide. And then he'll proceed with his presentation, and we'll have a short Q&A. Just a gentle reminder to everyone to please make sure that all your questions are related to the presentation. You can ask it directly to the speaker, or you can like general question between me and Job. We can both answer it. Or if Jobs is like more equipped to answer your question, he will be so happy to answer your question later. I would just also like to remind everyone that we don't have a chat window. So if you have questions, just make sure to send it in the question box. Before we began the webinar, I sent you a chat about making sure that your operating system is either of the following. So I've sent it to you. It's really detailed. I've sent it to you in chat. I hope you can check it. One reason why a lot of people complain that they like don't hear the speaker during events like this is because your machine, the machine that you are using now, or the equipment you are using now, doesn't match the system requirements of our software, which is GoToWebinar. So if you fall out of the webinar or biglang hindi nyo kami narinig while we're doing our presentation, you can log in through your mobile phone, at least to make sure that you can still hear us. So if everyone can hear us, can you just like send a message via the question box like, hey, hi, nice to meet you, or like, hey everyone, yan. So that we can just make sure that everyone is alive, uh, alive, awake, and enthusiastic for this event. And we would like to inform everyone that we are about 381, 82 people and counting. So this is a really big crowd. Okay, hey, thank you. It's great. Alive and kicking. Woohoo! There you go. So maybe I can start already so that we have more time for Job later. Let's begin. So some updates on Upwork. Let me just turn off my camera so that we can focus on the slides. So we have new talent badges on Upwork, which is the Rising Talent, Top Rated Plus, and the Expert Vetted badge. So we know and understand that you're looking for more ways to stand out and want better access to high value opportunities with quality clients. And as Upwork tries to continue to attract more businesses seeking flexible talent solutions, we have also heard your need to more quickly, the client's need to find talent that they can trust for their long-term work, for their complex and strategic projects. So to further our continued efforts towards this vision, we have launched two new talent badges, which is the Top Rated Plus and the Expert Vetted um, badge. And we have also redesigned for the oldies here, we have also redesigned the Top Rated and the Rising Talent badges. So as you see here, these are the four badges that you can um, get while working on Upwork. So for those who don't know, the Top Rated Plus is a status that helps you stand out from competition and get seen by top clients. So this means that if you have this badge, this means that the talent has earned more than $100,000 on Upwork on average, which is 4 times as much as the top-rated freelancer has earned. It has almost the same requirements as the top-rated freelancer, but with top-rated plus, there is more focus on large and long-term jobs. So one difference on the requirement is the top-rated plus program has a requirement of $10,000 earnings in the last 12 months. Sa top-rated natin, your requirement for the last 12 months is only $1,000. So if you want to, I'll be sending all the links to all the updates that I'm sharing with you later. I'll send it through chat, okay? So for the expert vetted badge, so freelancers who receive the expert vetted badge means that they have completed an extensive vetting process by technical and domain experts on and outside of Upwork. So the vetting includes a technical skill test and a soft skills interview. Earning this badge gets you exclusive access to top paying clients on Upwork, which includes 30% of the Fortune 500 enterprises or companies. So that's really huge. This badge represents the top 1% talent on Upwork. So if you have been expert vetted and you have received the badge, well, congratulations to you. You are 1% of this expert talent on Upwork. And it's currently available by invitation only. And currently, it's only available for some categories on Upwork. So I just would like to point out that freelancers could be invited to earn the expert vetted badge at any time, and it's not in a linear progression. Kunwari, um, for some of you, you guys know that in order to have the top rated badge, you need to have a job success score of 90 and above. For some of you, yung path nyo was like rising talent, job success score, top rated, and top rated plus. And then for some, they didn't get the rising talent, but they proceeded with the job success score, and then top rated, and then top rated plus. This expert vetted badge, you don't need to be rising talent, top rated, and top rated plus. So we are inviting freelancers to be vetted based on your skills and reputation, and also on the demand for your skills in the marketplace. So right now, we are slowly rolling out this option, but plan to gradually increase the number of freelancers we vet. So we have a freelancer who used to attend our events before. Um, he was recently, actually two of them. They were recently invited to do the skills vetting. They actually thought that it was a fake invite, so they had to confirm with me. And I think they passed. I haven't heard back from them, but I think they passed because I've seen the expert vetted badge on their profiles. So the best way to get invited in the future is to create a complete profile, stay active on Upwork, and maintain a great reputation among your clients. Right now, we are initially prioritizing freelancers who have already been successful on Upwork. So don't worry, don't fret, you guys. We'll also expand to newer freelancers in the coming months. If you want to read more about it, just go to support.upwork.com and look for Top Rated Plus and or Expert Vetted. Next update. So the Upwork team is committed to making sure that all our customers have the best experience possible on the Upwork platform. In order to make that happen, we're constantly listening to your feedback and thinking of ways we can implement those suggestions and changes. That's why we also have the Upwork community, and we also do surveys on the website, which some of you may have received. We know that our customers have experienced challenges with Upwork's video and call features in the past, and we realized that our users, wanted and needed a different resource that would allow you to conduct pre-contract conversations while abiding by the website's terms of service. So in order to make having those pre-contract conversations easier, we've implemented a brand new integration with Zoom, a video calling platform, which I think you guys are very familiar with. Um, Sorry, I was just checking if everyone could hear me. Okay, moving on. So both talent and clients can start Zoom calls directly through Upwork messages. The calls will take place by a Zoom account hosted by Upwork. So you don't need to have a Zoom account just to be able to use the Zoom integration in Upwork messages. So the option to start a Zoom call is available on both the Upwork website and the mobile app. So if you use the mobile app and like, for example, you're on the go or like you're on vacation and then suddenly your client needs to talk to you or you have an interview that you want to take immediately, you can initiate the call through your mobile app, through the Upwork mobile app. So since all Upwork users have access to Upwork messages, you can access the new Zoom feature. So if a client asks to do an interview outside of Upwork, I would highly recommend, and it's really recommended to suggest that you use the Zoom integration instead in the Upwork messages to do your call. So if you go to your account now, you will see here, you go to click on messages, and then you will see a phone button here. I don't know if you're seeing my mouse. Hopefully you do. You do see my mouse. And then from there, you can opt to do a Zoom meeting, an Upwork call, or a phone call. So there's a new way to earn on Upwork. We call it the project catalog, and this is based on an overwhelming demand from our talent community to launch a new way to earn on your own terms. So that's why we launched project catalog. For some of you, you may have been able to set up pre-packaged projects. Pre-packaged projects was project catalog's beta form, and this feature allows you to package your services into pre-scoped projects that are easy for clients to browse and buy. So it's so your clients will be able to see the projects that you post and will be able to purchase it on site. So creating your own project offerings can help you gain new client exposure, land more projects, set clear expectations, and manage your workflow. It can also help you get clear and intentional about how you want to grow your business. So with Project Catalog, you can create a project offering that includes a set scope, cost, turnaround time, and number of revisions for those in the graphic design or in website creation or something like that. So it's neatly packaged up into a purchasable project. Meanwhile, a client can search and browse based on offerings and know right away if you're a good fit for their needs. So, mas madadalian si client maghanap ng projects and freelancers that meets their needs. So yeah, if you want to learn more about Project Catalog, you can go to the community, which is community.upwork.com, and just search for Project Catalog, or you can go to our support pages, which is support.upwork.com, type in Project Catalog and read more about it. JSS, one of the hottest topics in the Upwork community and in Facebook and wherever. So we know from countless threads and feedback in the Upwork community about the job success score that there has been some confusion on how your scores are calculated. So through our customer surveys and user research, social media, we have heard freelancers like you, express frustrations around aspects of the score that are beyond your control. So our team determined that a few things need to change to make the job success a clearer reflection of your professional work. So one of the first changes we made is to stop including contracts that end with no feedback in the calculation. So your job success score measures and reflects your Upwork client satisfaction with the projects you complete for them, right? So the score is client driven and fully based on the client's feedback. Longer-term relationships can boost your score, and feedback from projects with higher earnings have a bigger impact on your score than lower-paying ones. Just a gentle reminder for those who've forgotten how to compete for the job success score, the Upwork system takes snapshots of your 6, 12, and 24-month histories in the Upwork marketplace, and a score is calculated for each time frame. So the best score out of these 3 time frames, the 6, 12, 24 months, is the score that's displayed on your profile, and it's updated every 2 weeks or so. So I hope a lot of our top rated freelancers here are happy with this change. Um, we implemented the changes to the scores computation this November, early around 3 weeks ago. We will, we have removed the no feedback input on the job success score calculation, and contracts that do not end in feedback will no longer be treated as outcomes at all. So we want to see you succeed in Upwork, and we believe that removing no feedback contracts from the calculation will enhance your experience. So um, on another note, I would like to point out that if a client has a history of giving negative feedback, in rare circumstances, we disqualify them from your job calculation. So this may affect you as well in terms of having enough job outcomes to qualify. So the best way to make sure that your job success score appears on your profile is by taking on more jobs and completing them successfully. So hopefully that's good news for some of our freelancers. So we did on Upwork, you can add certifications to your profile that you've earned outside of Upwork. So if you go to your profile, I think you should be able to find the certification section just under the testimonial section. In the support pages in the Help Center, in the Upwork Help Center, you'll be able to find a list of all the certifications that freelancers can add to their profile. So that's your Adobe-certified expert, AWS certifications, Cisco certifications, Google certifications, etc. So in addition to these certifications, we have also rolled out the Upwork Skill certification. So this is the badge here. It aims to indicate proficiency in one or more skills on your Upwork profile. So currently, these certifications are only available for 10 skill certifications in web, mobile, and software development, and 16 in the design and creative fields. So if you are interested in an Upwork skill certification, you can submit your interest by filling out this form, bit.ly/skill_certification. I will also send you the link later, and so that you can be included, hopefully included in when users are invited to a skill certification. So if you're not eligible to receive an invitation when you submit your survey or when you submit this form, the team will retain your information and invite you later if the eligibility changes or if we have a new Upwork skills certification that may fit your skills. So the best chance, so it's always like this, the best chance of being invited to Upwork programs such as this skill certification or the expert vetted badge. Make sure that you achieve and maintain a solid reputation, keep a complete and up-to-date profile that is not set to private, and maintain an active Upwork account in good standing. So dapat wala tayong suspensions in the past few months. Just a few more before we proceed to Jobs. Okay, siguro parang I have 2 more slides, okay? And I will be really quick. So we have upgraded the events calendar that was previously housed in the Upwork community. It used to be like just a post in the Upwork community. Right now, if you visit www.upwork.com/community/events, you will see a full listing of upcoming and past webinars for freelancers, along with all the important details about an event or the next events that happened, that will happen, in the past events that have already happened. So Upwork webinars and online events are hosted by Upwork ambassadors like me. We have several ambassadors in Europe, in Russia, Poland, Romania, Serbia, Ukraine, and we also have a few ambassadors in the US too. And most of the webinars topics range from getting started tips for new talent to business growth webinars for experienced freelancers, such as this event that we're having right now, which is called an expert talk. So hopefully you'll be able to find a webinar that interests you and be able to attend those webinars. Lastly, I would just like to share this study that we conducted a few months ago. So last September, we released the results of Freelance Forward 2020. It's the most comprehensive study of the US independent workforce, which found that a significant number of Americans freelanced even amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Um, this increase was fueled in part by an influx of younger, highly skilled professionals seeking flexible alternatives to traditional employment. Um, this is actually the seventh annual study that we've done so far. And in this study, more than 6,000 US workers over the age of 18 um, and found that 59 million Americans performed freelance work in the past 12 months. This actually represents 36% of the US workforce already. So our key findings in this study revealed that amid a global recession, the freelance workforce remains an essential pillar of the US economy. So freelancers contributed $1.2 trillion to the US economy in annual earnings. This is actually a 22% increase since 2019. More professionals are freelancing full time. So the share of independent professionals who earn a living freelancing full time has increased 8 percentage points to 36% since 2019. Freelancing increases earning potential. So, of those who quit their full time job in order to freelance, 75% say they earn the same or more in pay than when they had a traditional employer. And this actually applies to me because I also freelance too. And then young adults are turning to freelancing for economic opportunity. Amid a tough job market for recent college graduates, half of the Gen Z workforce ages 18 to 22 have freelanced in the past year. And those, more than a third, 36% started since the onset of COVID-19. Two more points. Freelancers are increasingly high skilled. So 50% of freelancers provide skilled services such as computer programming, marketing, IT, and business consulting. And professionals are likely to consider freelance work in the future. 58% of non freelancers who are new to remote work due to the pandemic are now considering freelancing in the future. So this is really something positive to look at amidst the ongoing pandemic. And this is why I'm sharing this to you right now. Our CEO said that amid all of the uncertainty brought about by COVID-19, the data shows that independent professionals are benefiting from income diversification, schedule flexibility, and increased productivity. And our chief economist also shared the same sentiments. He said that amidst the economic challenges in 2020, freelancing continues to be an important part of the economy. So basically, the way we work is undergoing a transformation. As companies and employees quickly adapt to a fully remote work in the wake of COVID-19, companies and employers and employees are learning to embrace the benefits of agile and distributed workforce. So with this shift, more professionals than ever before are striking out on their own in search of greater autonomy and flexible alternatives to traditional employment. And so for freelancers like you and me, we are already ahead of this curve because we've been doing this for a while now. And for those who are new to freelancing, well, good for you. So let's just expect the shift to agile and distributed workforce and freelancing to speed up in the coming years. So it's really important that we embrace freelancing because there is a gradual shift towards freelancing and distributed workforce. Okay, so I hope you learned a lot about my updates. If you have questions, you can just post it later in the you can post it in the question box and I'll try to answer you. But I don't want you to ask questions to me while Job is presenting because his presentation is really great. So why don't I introduce him so that he can start his presentation. So Jobert Monteras is a top-rated plus freelancer and the owner of the boutique video and graphic design agency Made by Jobert. He is also the founder of Skyrocket Training Services, which holds training exclusively geared towards video editing and motion graphics. As an Adobe Creative Insider Ambassador, he is an Adobe-certified trainer and expert in Premiere Pro and After Effects. and is the only person in Southeast Asia to receive T3 training in Adobe Premiere. On top of all his other roles, he is the only Blackmagic certified trainers in the Philippines and belongs to the first 30 trainers worldwide of DaVinci Resolve. So one interesting fact about him is he worked as a radio DJ for those who listen to Yes FM 101.1. He used to be Edu Mansadas. So he has vast experience in post-production industry and has worked on various TVCs and films. So let's all welcome Job. Job, are you around?
Hello, everyone. And thank you for having me
I'll
here.
just I'm sorry, I forgot to change the presenter rights to you. Let me just hand it over to you so that you can now show your screen.
Okay,
So there you go.
let me. Yeah. So, are you seeing my screen and can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sounds nice. Looks good.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so yeah, I'm here to talk about focus management, how to optimize your space, time, and your mind, because I think this is something that could really benefit everyone, regardless if you're working as a freelancer or working at home or just doing anything else. Okay, so I'll turn off my camera so you'll have a bigger screen and you don't have to see my face. Yeah. Okay. I also noticed that there were some I was watching the questions. No, there were some who gets dropped out or can't hear. Avery, I think if you don't if there's a problem, I think it's a good thing if you just log in, log out again, or check your settings. Maybe you accidentally muted yourself or muted the speaker. So anyway, so we all know that working from home is a wonderful opportunity, right? So it offers us flexibility and essentially it eliminates our daily commute. It can also help you feel more relaxed and closer to those that you care about. But it also presents a lot of challenges, especially when it comes to time management and focus management. So like I said, for today, I'll discuss some techniques that personally works for me. And hopefully, it would help you better manage your time and stay focused while at work or while you're working. And also have a proper balance in your personal life and manage your relationship with your loved ones. So I'm not going to tell you how to do your work. Instead, we'll explore some options and perspectives that you can consider. But in the end, you are in control on what you want to do. So I'll give you some tips in creating a workspace at home, which is a must-have to stay productive. I'll also discuss how to create a schedule that keeps you on task at work while ensuring you don't lose your balance in life. Okay. Now, time management is no longer enough to help us to be productive. Now, we must also improve our focus management. In fact, focus may be a deeper issue because so many of us are not aware that we're having a problem with it. For example, how many times, okay, have you started your workday with the intent of being focused, and at the end of the day, you felt like you were just busy, and that you didn't really accomplish anything. So I'm sure you felt that. No, you feel like you've been working the whole day, but when you look at it at the end of the day, you feel that you're so tired, but you didn't really accomplish anything big. What you did was very minimal. Or maybe you're talking to someone, or maybe while Avery is presenting, or while I'm talking, or you're reading something, you notice that your attention just drifts away, right? Or maybe you're checking your email and then you click on a link. Next thing you know, you're on Facebook. An hour later, you're still there, and then you have an unfinished work, unfinished email on your screen. So this happens because we lose focus and because we are not good at managing time. No? So it's very unfortunate because I think the single most precious asset that we have in our careers, maybe in our lives, is time. And every minute that passes is a minute that you can't get back. So we waste time every day in all kinds of ways. Sometimes we focus on the wrong work, or the right work at the wrong time. Or maybe we put too much work time into some personal issues or socializing. Okay, so we are so bad at managing our time. I don't know if you realize this, but there is an industry that has grown up around us to help us use time more effectively. Okay, so in order to help you gain focus and find more time, there are three key areas that we're gonna focus on: space, mind, and time. Okay, these three things. So when we are working at home, there are pros and cons. Of course, there are benefits and struggles. First one, when we are working at home, we control our schedule. So we dictate when we want to work. Okay, unless we are working under a company that has a schedule that we have to follow. Okay, so what are the other struggles? Sometimes we don't work as much as we should. Okay, there's more rest, more social media than actual work. Okay, another benefit is I can spend time with my family, or we all of us can spend more time with my family, with your family, because you're at home. A struggle is you're working longer hours, and this is true, especially for those who are new to freelancing or working from home. Okay, those who just transition from corporate to work from home and they haven't have any routine established yet. Okay, the benefit is we don't have to commute. And another struggle is sometimes, although we love our family, they can also become a source of distractions. Okay, sometimes they're too noisy, they're watching TVs, they're playing sounds that are too loud, and you can't properly work. Okay, and it's hard to transition mentally from work. Okay, before, when you go work in an office, you have this travel time from your office to home that helps you transition, that you are that you're gonna stop working already, and that when you get home it's time to rest. But now, since you are already at home, there's it's very hard to transition from that. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do or talk about is space. So first, you need to create a productive workspace, and in that workspace you have to create boundaries. Okay, this is basically you have to create a boundary, a mental boundary line around your desk. So make sure you have an area where you always work, and that will be your work area. And then draw an imaginary line that says that from this section to this section, this is my home office. But when I go out there, it's for something else. It's for my home life. So first and foremost, you have to create a clean separation in your mind. So if you don't have a table, if you don't have a room, you can just get a small table for starters, okay? So that you can have a clean separation between a work life and your home life. So create a home office that is quiet and free from distraction as much as you can, not in an open traffic area and not close to your doors. Okay, why not close to our doors? Because a lot of people go in or and out of doors, so it will distract you. Okay, and then keep your work in your workspace and everything else in your home space. Okay, so create that mental boundary that when you go in this section, in this area of your house, this is where you work. When you go out there, that's where you uh, chill out or just literally relax. Okay, so your workspace is your home for work, and everything outside is for everything else. Is that clear, everyone? I hope you are all getting this. Okay, and then some don't work on the couch. A lot of people likes working on the couch while they're watching TV, while they're watching Netflix, or I don't recommend it because it destroys your posture, number one. And number two is if this is in your living room, then you're also making your office your living room, right? So as much as possible, uh, have that separation, okay? Another thing is that don't work in your bed. Why? Because your bed is for sleeping, okay? So when you work in bed, it will create lots of sleep issues. Okay, so it's also because of the blue light. Okay, and your mind is not yet attuned. Well, your mind should be uh, programmed to that you're gonna go to sleep when you go to bed. Okay, not working. So again, this is having that boundary. So if you work at home, if you're working on the sofa, if you're working on bed, on the kitchen table, then your whole house becomes your office. And wherever you go, it feels like you're working. So that's why you need this clear separation between your workspace and your home life. Okay. So working outside is also a great way to work. But if you want to work outside, stay away in cafes as much as possible because they're very distracting. So when people goes in and out of the cafe when they buy something or it's very noisy, and some people can work inside a cafe, but what if imagine if you can work in a very distracting place like a cafe. So imagine if you go to somewhere else like a co-working space, then you'll be even more productive, right? Okay. Another thing, this is very, very common for a lot of us, is we have too many things on our table. So if you want to maintain your focus, remove unnecessary things on your desk. Okay, this could be your phone, this could be photos, okay, and anything else that is not uh, being used for work, then remove it. Like for example, in this photo, we only have a speaker, a mouse, a keyboard, and etc. Okay, so in my case, my phone is not with me. It's stored somewhere else in a shelf, in a box. Okay, and when I need it, I just go and get it there. Okay, we don't want, like for example, you have your phone in front of you. Every time there's a notification, you'll tend to look at it. Every time you hear it, you'll tend to check out your phone. And when you're trying to focus, that momentary notification would uh, cause your focus to lose your focus, basically. If you can get a standing desk, I've been using a standing desk for probably 6 years already, and it helps me a lot because I'm more active, I'm more alert. It's literally you cannot fall asleep when you're standing up, right? So that's the main reason. You can't slouch when you're standing up. So it really helps. If you don't have a standing desk, you can put your monitor on top of books and other or any other thing that you can think of, right? And then what you can do as well is if you don't want a standing desk, try to buy the best seat that you can afford. Okay, a gaming seat is not really functional because their style is for racing, pattern from racing seats. Okay, so find the best comfortable office chair that you can find so that you won't hurt your back or destroy your posture as much as we can. And then here, so this is what I want you to do. I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay. I forgot to tell you to, as much as possible, if you can get a pen and paper. So what I want you to do, I'll post a timer here, is to just look and listen. So get the paper, divide it into two sections or columns. On the left side, write down everything you see. Okay. On the right side, write down everything you hear. Okay. So left side, anything that is visual, something that you can see. On the right side, something that is audible, something that you can hear right now. Okay, so this will help you. I would recommend for you to do this again, but this 2 minutes is your practice. Okay, so get a pen and paper, or you can use your phone and then write down again what you see and what you hear. And then here's our timer. I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay, last 1 minute. Okay, great. So can you write down, can you put it in the questions, or I don't think we have a chat. What you noticed, what you wrote down, even if it's just one thing, like write something that you see, write something that you heard, okay, in that 2 minutes. Okay. So if you did activity, you might have heard this one. So you might have seen this. So visual and audible. You might have your cell phones, notifications, TV, people going in and out. For some people, it's music and people talking. I see dogs and then neighbors, kids playing, dogs barking. Okay. Audible will be cell phones, notification, noises, and people talking. So these are all actually distractions. So maybe it depends on the person, but generally, when you get a Facebook message and notification while you're concentrating on your work, okay, the moment that you look at your phone, that's already a distraction. So you got distracted already. So as much as possible, try to minimize your distractions. So one thing to do, for example, lighting distractions. If your monitor is positioned in front of a window or behind a window on the side, is there a light, okay, hitting your monitor? Okay, watch out for the glare on your screen because it causes your eyes to get tired easily. Okay, so that is also a distraction. Okay, so reposition your monitor, and then visual distraction. If your monitor is placed like this, you're looking out of the window, it seems like a good idea, but actually it is a bit of a distraction because every time somebody walks by outside, every car that you see, you get distracted. It pulls your focus away. So that's what we want to do. We don't want your focus being pulled away by anything. Okay. So what you do? Uh, you can do your visual. You can create a visual barrier. Okay. So put a wall, put a curtain, put something that will block your view from any other distractions. Of course, you won't. Not everyone have uh, the has an extra room to have an office. So if you're outside in your living room, maybe find something that would help you get a barrier or a visual barrier, even audible barriers actually. So for audible distractions, you can use a headphone, you can listen to music, uh, have some white noise playing in the background. Okay, so I see a lot of you have commented, so pets on your visuals, car engine. Somebody says that she has some makeup on her table. So is ask yourself, do you need the makeup while working, or is it something that you need while working? Okay, so and most of the people you mentioned that cell phones and and noise outside. Okay, and there is also your 4-year-old kid, so that's an audio and visual distraction. So try to minimize them. So now you've identified what is it that distracts you, then you find a way to help to lessen that. So one way is to get a physical inbox. This is for everything that is on your table. So like I said, my phone is not with me all the time. It's on a box, or it's on a shelf, and everything that I need will be in that inbox. So that when the time comes that I need to get it, I know where to find it. Okay, so this lessen distraction both visually and audible the distractions. Also, you know what? Email notifications, Facebook notification, those are distractions as well in your digital space. So try to lessen that as well if you can. So in your mind, we want to remove some distraction as well. So the second fundamental principle that we want to focus on is your mind. So in particular, we want to keep our mind clear. So many people use their mind as a gathering point. So when this happens, you allow to-dos and tasks and projects to swirl around your head. And think about the last hour. How many times, okay, when I started talking, how many times did you interrupt yourself when a new thought popped in your head? So each one of these little self-interruptions is a switch. So a mind field is a switch. Basically, you switch your thought to that particular idea, and then you went back to this another idea. So that is a switch as much as possible. I know that's hard to implement, but meditation will really help you to become mindful, okay, and help you focus, okay. So each one of this little is this thought is a switch. So this is very inefficient, very stressful, and a recipe for a lot of mistakes, especially when you're thinking of a lot of things. And I've seen people who don't sleep well because they go to bed at night thinking about the things that they need to do the next day when they wake up, and then when they wake up in the morning, that's also the first thing that they think about. So do a mind sweep. Pay attention to what has your attention. What is it that you're thinking about? Write it down. Capture it on a piece of paper. Write it down. Or if you want to, you can type it something somewhere. But I like writing it down on a piece of paper. Okay. And then when you get an idea, the worst place to store it is in your head. When you think of something, the worst place to store it is in your head because you tend to forget it. It's the leakiest place in the world. Your head was made for having ideas and not for holding them. So again, you have to capture those and write it. Okay. So if you don't have a pen, like for example, me, when I'm outside, I have this idea. I would record that on my phone, or I do a voice recording. Okay. If I can't type, or there's so many things that I'm thinking about, so I record it on my phone, get an audio recorder. So basically, you have to capture that. Okay, so be prepared to gather every idea that you think of. Okay, so a lot of you also have heard that you can multitask. Okay, multitask. It's actually a myth. So you cannot really multitask. It's actually called task switching. Uh, be, According to researchers, we cannot attend to two mental tasks. Oops, sorry. We cannot attend to two mental tasks at the same time. So multitasking involves quickly switching attention between tasks. Okay. When we do that, it increases the time to complete our task. Okay. It also decreases the quality of our work. Okay. And it increases our stress. Okay, here a simple example. Let's say you're cooking something, and then you're cooking two, three things at the same time, right? Sometimes one of the dishes won't be properly cooked because you're doing three things at the same time. Okay, that's just an example. Okay, so when you multitask, you might miss out a lot of important details and experiences. So even more worrisome than missing out on details, you're getting used to becoming mentally distracted, okay, distractible. So if we allow ourselves to automatically like respond to the next email, so we're working something and then somebody sent an email, we reply immediately. We are on a very reactive culture, which is very bad because we don't spend time thinking. So that's why when we post on social media, a lot of people just reads a headline, don't even read the full article, and they react. Okay, so when you see something, pause before reacting. Okay, and in terms of working, have a schedule when you need to attend to those other stuff. Okay, so managing your hours. Hey, with managing your hours, so that's a third principle. So in particular, focusing your time on that which is most valuable. Okay, so the third principle, final principle, deals with time itself. Uh, in particular, yun nga, focusing your time on that which is most valuable. So there's so many ideas and opportunities that compete for your time daily. We only have 24 hours, and those who mastered productivity, okay, those who are most productive, okay, have mastered the skill of making conscious choices, okay, but where they focus their time. So they've also become very skilled at creating boundaries that protect their attention, and you can do the same by beginning by identifying your most important task. And that's where your big rocks comes in. So what is the big rocks? This was popularized by Dr. Stephen Covey. He's the author of the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. And he demonstrates that a simple paradigm shift can help you achieve big things on your to-do list while managing the little things. Okay. So simply put, okay, your big rocks are you have a jar and that is your life. Okay. And your big rocks are your priorities, the major things you want to get done. For example, this week, they are the tasks, they are the big projects or goals you absolutely have to accomplish. These are your mission critical objectives, ika nga. Not items on a messy sprawling to do list. So imagine each day as a jar. Okay, in a week you have 7 jars in total, right? And you go into each of those jars without planning ahead, and you just go ahead do stuff without planning. You fill them up with little rocks, your sand, which is the unimportant things, maybe Facebook and etc. Some mediocre stuff like little rocks. Okay, and then you put your big rocks last. A tendency is that you won't have enough space to put in your big rocks. Okay, so what you want to do is to first do your big rocks first. Okay, put in the gravel the second, and then the sand the third. So these are your priorities in life or in your week. And then people tend to run into 3 problems when they think about their priorities. Okay, so they'll say they have too many things to do, they have too many priorities. They do not or cannot differentiate the truly important priorities. That's problem number 2. And for any number of reasons, they let other less important things to get in the way of focusing on what really matters. So that's your third problem. So I have some questions here that might help you in identifying your big rocks. Okay, so ask yourself, where or what do you currently spend most of your time? Okay, so make a list, 3, 5 lists, okay? And then what is the single biggest thing that really eats up your time? Okay, write it down. Okay, you can screenshot this if you like, so you can remember the questions. Okay, so where do you spend the most of your time? And then be very specific with them. Okay. Now, what needs to change? So you already identified uh, where you spend your most time with. Now, what needs to change with those? Okay. And then what are your top priorities in life? In life or this week or in a day? Okay. Make a list of whatever pops into your mind. Next, what is the one thing that is most important to you right now? Same thing. Write it down. So identify it. This will help you identify it. And then plan your week. So when you have this already, when you have that list, okay, plan your week. First, make a list of your big rocks. So if your week starts on Monday, on Sunday, list down all your big rocks. Make a short list at first, okay, especially if it's your first time. Then place the rocks on your schedule. So for Monday, this is the big thing that I need to do. For Tuesday, this is the big thing that I want to do, and etc. Okay, and then leave a space for any incoming pebbles or gravel. So things that you didn't know might come in, like oh, you have to send an email to this, or somebody sent you an email, or a small task, that small project that came in. So leave them, leave some space. Okay, and then do your big rocks first thing in the morning. When you wake up, do your big rocks first or your biggest task in the morning, so that you'll have more time with your so that you can finish all the most important tasks. All right. So far, is everyone getting this? We're almost done. Don't worry. I know it's a lot, but I think that these are the things that would really help you as well because I use them personally. Okay, so related to the big rocks is the 80-20 principle. This is called the Pareto principle. So Wilfredo Pareto had this study. But he noticed in Italy that during the 1906, 80% of Italy's land was owned by 20%. Okay, so this is his ratio. This is very true for anywhere else, even for products. Like 80% of your product, 80% of the sales comes from 20% of the products only. Okay, so the idea goes like this: all work is not created equal. So you have to look at every task, okay, every task that you have, every person, every project, and ask yourself: is this bit of work something that is absolutely interesting and important to the level that it is strategic? Okay, will it move us forward as a team, or will it move me or my company as a team, or this is this just something that's got to be done? Okay, it's just work that has to be done. That is your 80%. And then the strategically important stuff, that's your 20%. Okay, and if you don't take the time every single moment to engage a new bit of work, to ask yourself, so you have to analyze: is this 80%? Is this an 80 percenter, or is this a 20 percenter? Okay, so you're liable. You're probably spending a lot of your time in the 80%. Okay, so you should identify which is which. 80%, not 20%. So you have to prioritize that 20%. Okay. Now, I mentioned this as well, like creating clear working hours. So you have your space already. Perfect. You remove all your distraction already. It's very minimized as much as possible. Now you have to create a clear working hours. This is the problem that I mentioned also earlier. Some people would work at start their day at 9. Okay, I'll work early. Great. But what they'll do is they'll be working from 9 to 11, then stop, go back to work at 3, stop again, go back to work at maybe 9 in the evening, and then finish at 11. And then it feels like, oh, when they ask them, well, what time did you finish your work? Oh, 11 p.m. I've been working the whole day. See, that's why it feels like you're working the whole day. That's why you feel more tired. Okay, so you have to have clear working hours. So this is because you have no boundary. So you have to have a boundary with your working hours as well. You have to respect your time. Okay, rather than working less hours while at home, yeah, some of the remote workers work more. Okay, so let's be clear with that. So you have to always also consider your sleep and health needs when you create your working hours. For me, I stopped working. I mean, the maximum work hours that I have is until 10 p.m. Okay, so regardless what happens, I stop at 10 p.m. because I need 2 hours to transition before I go to sleep. So from 10 to 12, that's when I chillax. Okay, this is the maximum, but most of the time I try to finish at 7 or 8 as much as I can. I start working at 1. My schedule is I wake up at 10 a.m. Okay, that's the earliest I can, but I'm trying to learn to wake up earlier. Okay, so when I wake up, I'll meditate for 5 minutes. Then I'll go down, make some coffee. If there's any dishes, I'll work on the dishes, wash the dishes. I'll cook some breakfast, and then I'll exercise. After exercising, of course, you take a bath, and then that's when I start working. Okay, that will be probably like 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Okay, most of the time I only work 4 hours because that's those are the only hours I need to finish whatever it is that I am working on. Okay. Okay, so one of the problems that I mentioned, there's no natural transition. Travel time from the office to the home gives you the ability to decompress and stop thinking about work. So you have to create a mental commute or transition time when you are at home. Okay, find something that clears your mind and an activity that helps you with that. So this is the same thing with me. I That's why I mentioned that I have like 2 hours to transition from rest to resting. Okay. We also have to have meaningful breaks. So when you're working, sometimes you don't take a break, right? I know a lot of people who doesn't take a break because they're in the zone, but you have to take a break. You have to force yourself to take a break so that you don't get tired. Okay. You don't get stressed. And then so that your performance is maintained. Okay. So next thing you know, if you don't properly rest, your performance gets lower and lower and lower. Okay. And then what I do is I have a what I call a work oasis. So I have some, and this comes from the ultragen rhythm. So what they did, there was a study before that basically says that uh, we have like 960 to 90. This was done in 1950s by Nathaniel Kleitman. So there is a 90 to 120 minute cycle. So every 90 to 120 90 to 120 minutes, your body has a period of significant energy and alertness. So hataw, followed by a period of fatigue. So after 90 to 120 minutes, you get tired. And then, so that's why after that, you have to take a rest. Okay. Take a rest and then go back to working again. So you'll maintain that high performance if you have breaks in between. So what I do, personal thing that I do is I work for 25 minutes. I have a timer. I use a pomodoro timer for 25 minutes of concentrated work, 5 minute rest. So that's already 30 minutes. After 5 minutes, I go back to working for 25 minutes and then 5 minute rest again until I reach 90 minutes. After 90 minutes or 120 minutes, I would rest 20 minutes. Okay, even if it's just 5 minutes, I still take that rest because what I noticed before, I didn't like the idea. I just tried. So I just because I was thinking every 5 minutes, every 25 minutes, or every 20 minutes you take a break, then it's a lot of time wasted. That's what I thought. But what I noticed is that when I take these frequent short breaks, and as well as the 20-minute breaks, I didn't feel tired, both mentally and physically. So that's why my work doesn't slow down. Okay, so my efficiency is always very high because I don't get tired easily. Okay, so that is something that you can consider. Use of a Pomodoro timer. Okay, Pomodoro session. Some people like that. Plan your meaningful break, and then what I do 5 minutes. When I get that 5 minutes, I meditate for 1 2 minutes. 20 minutes, you can actually take a power nap if you want to. Me, I just take. I like I like to meditate a lot because it helps me um, rest my mind. Okay, so my job uh, involves a lot of thinking and a lot of studying. So this is the only time that I basically heal my mind, or rest my mind. Okay. You can also watch something if you want to literally just relax, okay? And do a personal oasis. Do something that you enjoy for at least 30 minutes a day. So go outside, work, have a chat, draw, okay? Me, my personal oasis is I exercise. I like exercising. Yeah, it's a bit weird that I like torturing myself, but it helps me clear my mind. Okay. So that's my personal oasis. And then like I said, always give yourself permission to take a break. So don't skip break because it will degrade your performance, but don't overdo it as well because it perpetuates lacking up in your day. Let's say you want to play a game for that 20 minutes, make sure that it's only 20 minutes or 15 minutes. Okay? If you're playing Call of Duty Mobile or Mobile Legends, make sure that it's only 15 minutes that you're playing and not longer. All right? Now let's go to the Einstein window but before I talk about this, just want to check is everything clear to you guys? Is there any technical problems? Are you still there here with me? Okay. So I have something that I learned a long time ago. It's called the Einstein window. The Einstein window is a time within the day that you are most productive. And I know you've felt this. It could be like 2 or 4 hours in a day where we're in you feel like in the zone. Some people say like in the morning, when I do my work in the morning, I can do a lot of things. I can finish a lot of tasks. For some people, it starts in the afternoon. Like when I do like 4 to 8, I really can do a lot of stuff. Okay. Actually, for me, every time I'm on a plane, I'm traveling, I can do a lot of stuff from Manila to Singapore inside the airplane. I can learn a new software. I could finish a ton of projects. So that's the importance of the Einstein window. So this is what I mentioned, working at the right time, working on the right project at the right time. So find which is your Einstein window and then protect that Einstein window. So so when you're finding your Einstein window, ask when do people send you a message? When do you get emails? Okay, so find the best time you don't get distracted and then do your big rocks during your Einstein window or some of your big rocks, right? And then when you can also schedule lower value activity during times where you get interrupted. So for example, you notice that you always get a message in the afternoon, right? Chats in the afternoon. So what you can do is you can um, what you can do is you can choose to work during those times, but only work on the menial ones, the less valuable ones, and then work, of course, on the big rocks on the times where you're not distracted by any outside forces. Okay, so protect your Einstein window. Learn to say no. So if somebody sent you a message, can you do this for me? Can do this? Learn to say no. So a lot of us immediately we respond to an email, we respond to a message, pause. So what it doesn't mean that you'll be a bad person. No, no, no. That I won't do this, I won't do it. What you can say is, I'll help you, but I cannot do it right now. So let me schedule that on like a later time during the day. So learn to say no so that you'll have a boundary as well. Okay. And then you can step away from your desk if needed. I mentioned that you have to have your space, right? But sometimes let's say you get some visitors at home, they're very loud, or everybody's having fun, and you're working. Naturally, you won't be able to work properly when you're at home, so you can go outside, work somewhere else, okay? Just to protect your Einstein window during that time, because you know that when you're working during your Einstein window, you can finish a lot of stuff, okay? And then during this time, as much as possible, silence your phone and remove any or all distractions as much as you can. Okay. And as a recap. So space, so define your workspace, your home for work, and remove any unnecessary things that may distract you. And then we have your mind. Clear your mind, identify what's keeping your attention and capture it. So if you're thinking of something, write it down. Okay. Don't think about your past. Don't think too much about the future. Think on because you don't have any control on those. Think about the present because that is something that you can control. Um, Try to learn how to meditate. I'm not an expert at meditation. I just use an app and follow a guided meditation. I think Spotify has some guided meditation as well. Uh, Try it, and it will take time, of course, to really get used to it. But try it. It will personal experience. It really does help. Then, of course, we have our time. So always define a clear work schedule. find your Einstein window and protect it. And yeah, so I have a company. It's called Skyrocket Training Services. If you are on Facebook, you can follow us at skyrocketph.com, skyrocketph, and then my website is skyrocketph.com. If you want to reach out to me, you can also find me on Facebook. Just look for Jobert Monteras. I'll be there. And then, yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank
And
you, Jobs. Wait, turn on ko lang yung camera ko. Ayan. So, before we start with the questions, I just wanted to say that a lot of people were very impressed with your background. Like, lahat sila parang, wow, ang galing. So, really, really, really impressive. I really like your presentation, even when you sent it to me like a month before. So I was reading through it and I've taken down a lot of notes. So up until now, as in nag-notes pa rin ako. Can you see that?
that's
And
good.
I'm liking that a lot of our attendees are really like participating and they're really answering your questions in the question box. So if you guys have like questions, now is the time to ask Jobs your question. But if you don't have questions, I have some questions um that I've written down here while you were presenting. I would also just like to say, Jobs, I'm really sorry when you were saying something about like the yung distractions, like tignan mo yung paligid mo and identify the distractions. My phone was beside me, my phone was here. And my family was like texting me, can we order pizza for dinner? So I was really distracted at one point, but I made sure to click the do not disturb button so that I can focus on our webinar. So anyway, I just wanted to ask, like, in the context of, how some freelancing in the third world, like, there are a lot of freelancers who don't have their personal space at home. Most of us, we share our home or our space with our parents, or some of us share with extended relatives, ganon. And it's really something that's common to a lot of Filipinos
Mhm.
who are freelancing. Let's admit it, not everyone is blessed to have their own space or buy a table or have an ergonomic chair. So how should people manage in this situation?
Oh, well, like I mentioned also earlier, that you can find a simple corner nook in your house, and it doesn't have to be a very expensive chair. It could be like a simple monoblock chair with a very small table. Any place, it could be a corner in your living room, as long as you define this, that this is the area where I'll be working. And you can communicate to your family that during these hours I will be working. And if you can not disturb me during these hours, I would really appreciate it. So if you're working in the living room, let's say, please don't watch any TV during these hours as much as possible, because I'm working, and I'm working because it's also for our benefit. So when I earn money, it's for paying our bills. So if I get distracted, then I won't be able to earn properly. So you won't get to watch your Netflix because I won't be able to pay for it. So just basically just define the boundary, and it has to be the whole family would have to cooperate as well.
Okay. And then I have another question before we proceed to the questions here. So we are currently, us, the Philippines, is currently in a very unique situation where most, if not all, freelancers are overseeing a student during their online or distance learning. Ako, I'm overseeing my son. I'm guessing you too. So, in this case, this is actually a major distraction for me when I work, because I work during the time that my son actually has his classes. And he's only
Mhm.
in grade 3, so he's like, "Mommy, I need help with this," like that. So, can this be how should we deal with this change, and can this be considered multitasking? I mean, especially for freelancers who have a fixed schedule.
Okay. So yeah, so there I was gonna suggest that if you can change your schedule, do it. But if not, then during those times, if it's possible to do the tasks that are not that important, that doesn't need your full attention, then do those first. So basically, Uh, yung mga, if you can afford to be distracted by doing this task, then do those first. Otherwise, uh, well, for me, I'm very, because my daughter is 14 years old. Okay, so I'm very lucky that she's very independent. When she wakes, we don't have to wake up literally in the morning. When I wake up at 10, she's already in class. She had her breakfast, and she's very independent. So if you have someone's younger, it would help also if you teach them to be more independent. But of course, it's not always the case for every child, right? So it's going to be
And
an
it,
adjustment for both. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And that tip is actually really helpful. Wait, we have a question here from Victor James Firmo. He says, one particular distraction that most of us have is hunger or gutom. So some people say that it's good to have snacks in between, and some say it's not good to have food that's ready for consumption on your work desk, which is what you just identified earlier. Tanggalin lahat ng distractions. So which one is advisable?
Well, if you're using a Pomodoro timer like what I have, like for every 20 or 25 minutes, I take a break, right? So I can use those 5 minutes to eat some snacks or get something to munch on. Uh, after I don't think you get hungry every 30 minutes or every hour, right? Probably after 1.5 or 2 hours. So you eat during your 20-minute break. So everything is basically planned out. Just lay it out when you want to eat, or start when you start working. Before you start working, eat first, so you don't get hungry. It's also healthier if you eat small snacks during the entire day instead of heavy meals.
Yeah, actually. So we have a question from Katrina Doctolero. Her question is, what can you advise for people who have shifting schedules? Sometimes I find it hard to transition from day shift to night shift and vice versa. So I'm guessing these people are yung mga yung schedules nila are erratic, so walang specific schedule. So what's your advice for for people like that?
For schedules like that, I'm guessing that before they change your schedule, they will inform you first, right? So
Hopefully.
during those times, so when the time they inform you, let's say you're gonna say, okay, next week your schedule will be this. So take that time from the announcement to the actual date schedule to fix everything. So to plan your schedule. Okay, so from now on, for next week, this will be my schedule because I'll be working at the wee hours in the morning. When they change it again, okay, so basically work around the schedule because it's something that you might not have a control because uh, the employer will be the one to give you the schedule, right? So if it's out of your control, then you have to make the most out of it. So basically, yeah. So since they give it to you ahead of time, plan out your schedule ahead of time as well.
Yeah. Okay, we have another question. This one is from Melvin Piscasio. So his question is, how do you fix sleeping patterns? My current work from home setup has a very flexible working hours. I find it convenient, but also find it hard to find specific consistent working hours. So I'm guessing nahirapan si Kuya na maghanap ng like a nice schedule for him. So what is your recommendation for that?
You're very lucky because your time is flexible, so you can
Yeah.
choose when and where you want to work. So like I said, so find your Einstein window. So what is the time during the day wherein you are the most productive. So make sure you are working during those hours, right? And then from there you can work out your schedule on when or where you want to work. Like I said, like for example, for me, I have my schedule, right, but it's not set in stone. I could change that anytime I want if I have to. But the most important thing is during that Einstein window, that 2 to 4 hours where I'm super productive, that is protective. I would always make sure that I work during those hours because like it's like magic that I can do so many things or finish a lot of things during that time.
Yeah. And then there's this like clarifying question from Mark Herrera. His question is, I think, and this is specific to the Pomodoro technique or the Ultradian technique, rhythm. He says with the 10 to 20-minute break, is it doing something like do I have to do what I skipped during my work hours, or is it like break?
It's break. You have to break because if you're something doing something that you skip during your work hours, then still working. So it's your break talaga.
Mhm. Okay. And then another question from Karina Aguas. How do you manage a project wherein it feels like you need to be available anytime for work? So parang walang boundaries, I guess. Parang ganun?
Yeah,
Okay.
establish a boundary with your client to talk to. Like for example, we are here in the Philippines and they're in the US, right? So they know that our time zone is different. So even if in my experience, even if I message him a little bit later during the day, maybe like when I wake up, if they are okay with them because they know that time zone is different. So when you start the project with your client, uh, establish the boundaries already. So tell them when and where you are available. Tell them what time you are planning to work on those projects. And the advantage if you're working in the Philippines and your client is in the US is that you will never be late because we are
Yeah.
advanced like a 12 hours or 13 hours,
Yeah.
right? So that's why I tell them, don't worry, I'm never late. Right? So even if you work until the evening, right, you can literally brag it, I'm never late. So yeah,
Okay. And
establish those
go ahead. Sorry.
immediately.
Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So establish those immediately. So it will help with your sanity as well because you know when
Yeah.
you need to work.
Yeah, actually. And then, oh, this is an interesting question. Justin Monteras says, do you have your own or a recommended productivity system for tracking tasks, projects, time, like calendar blocking, to-do lists, digital to-do lists, etc.? So maybe you can share with us what apps you use.
I use Focus, which is well, I'm on a Mac. I'm sure this is already also available on a PC. I use Focus for my timer, and
Mm-hmm.
then sometimes I use Trello
Mm-hmm.
for the task. But what I normally do is I have what I call the productivity achievers productivity sheet. So
Mm-hmm.
I write it down on paper. I like writing things on paper because I don't have to turn my computer on if I need to look
Yeah.
for it. I can just my notebook and it's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the computer is just a backup of what I am trying to do. So what you can do is create a big goal. So this is your goal, right? Your big goal. This is the like a big project, and then from there divide it to three. So what are the three mini goals that I can do that I have to do in order to achieve that particular goal? Okay, and that three goals underneath for each goal. Then, so let's say super goal, and then mini goal one, mini goal two, a sub goal one, sub goal two, and sub goal three. Sub goal
Mm-hmm.
one, I'll divide that again to let's say 7 days, 7 days a week. So what is it that I have to do this during the week to achieve that goal one? Goal two is the same thing. What is it things that I have need to do? Three tasks for each goal. The three tasks so that I can achieve whatever it is that I need to achieve to finish that goal. So paatras. That's what I do. So paatras. So it because it's easier when I do actually my life coaching. The first thing that we do is try to find his goals in life, his his vision, because it's easier. So have you felt that you're just walking in life and then you don't have any goal? Then it has to be very specific, right? Very specific, time bound. Uh, it's like driving and you're just literally driving and don't know where to go. So if you have a place to go, you can find different ways on how to get there. So let's say I'm gonna go to SM Mall of Asia. There are at least three or five ways to get there from my place, from Mandaluyong. So if you know your goal, then you can go use any route that you prefer to get that goal. So from there, what I do is if it's a project, then I reverse it. This is the project. Let's say I want to become a really good editor. Okay, how to become a good editor? That's the main goal. Then, okay, number one. learn this. Number two, learn this. Number two, learn this on this month. Okay, so in order to learn that in 1 month, I have to learn this week, this and this week. And in order to learn that task in that week, I have to learn it on this day. So I have everything scheduled as well. So break those down. It's easier to achieve this stuff. And then in the morning, what I'll do, I always write the things that I'll do today. Okay, today the big things, these are the big things I'm gonna do today, and then next I'll write down the other stuff because sometimes you think you're too busy or there's so many things in your mind, and then but when you write it down, you realize that 80% of that are just simple emails that okay that can be done in 5 minutes. Okay, but
Yeah,
if you
yeah, yeah.
don't write it down because it's in your mind, you're gonna think about it the whole day. Oh, I haven't sent an email to this person yet. Just write it down and then send those email. Like for example, like on my list, see, I have oh, not this one. So I don't know if you can see it. I have some checklist already. So there's many checks done, 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 and it has this. You'll have this sense of uh, achievement. Okay, I'm done with that. Okay, so there's one more thing, and so you'll I feel less stress. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. There's this very interesting question from Brian Mark Alcaide. What if I feel productive during nighttime, Sir Jobs? Is that still part of the Einstein window? Is the Einstein window like something personal? It depends on who you are and how you adjust. I see. I see. Okay.
It depends on who you are, but there was a study before that saying that after 10 hours, at 10 o'clock, some people would feel like, okay, I like to study or I like to work on this 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Right? And I sometimes experience it myself that, super, I'm in the mood, I'm going to work. But the problem is that they say that this is your body's response, like a surge of energy. And it's not really for working. Okay. So because like at 10 o'clock, you should starting to rest already. So it's just giving you more energy so that you can still wake up. But as much as possible, try working during the day if it's possible. Okay. Unless you have to work 12 a.m. to 9 a.m. Then find the Einstein window during those times.
Mhm. Okay. So this is an interesting question from a stay-at-home mom. Um, so her name is Legine Liave. So I work from home as a freelancer, but I'm also a stay-at-home mom. I always have a 10 to 20-minute break in between. But in those breaks, I do household chores. So taking care of the kids, etc. So I'm guessing naglalaban, naghuhugas ng pinggan, linis, etc. etc. I feel like I'm super productive when I'm multitasking. But I remember, Job, you said earlier that there's no such thing as multitasking. So for stay-at-home moms, I'm also a stay-at-home mom. Is this still healthy for us? Like, how should we adjust to it?
I think everything could be fixed with just proper scheduling. I've been working from home for the 25% of my life. When I computed it, like 25% of my life is working from home. Literally, that's how long I've been working remotely. So
Mhm.
yeah, and during the day, when I wake up, I find this is I noticed when I got older. When I was younger, I hated like washing the dishes, cleaning the
Mhm.
house. But when I got older, I noticed that when I wash the dishes, when I clean the house, these are the most relaxing time for me because I don't have to think about anything else. I don't have to think about work. I don't need to be stressed. Or it's just me and my plates and joy. Okay, and my vacuum cleaner. So take those. I don't think of it as work. I think it's different. Put it in a different perspective. Is like taking care of someone you love, work, right? So if you put it in a different perspective, no, it's my way of showing them that I love them. Then yeah, I think you'll feel less tired because their mindset is I'm not working, I'm loving this person.
Yeah,
Pwede, di ba?
that's really nice. Ano, naging radio talk show pala. Joke lang. Anyway, Job, do you have any, because we're on our 1 hour and 30th minute mark, so we just finished everything. Thank you so much. Any last tips for us that we can write down, or any, can you please repeat also how we can contact you in the future if we want you to be our life coach, or just, just send you questions or be part of Skyrocket?
So you can reach out to me like on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook. I may not respond immediately. Like I said, I have a schedule when I respond to all the messages just to protect my time. But yeah, so we can find Skyrocket at Skyrocket PH or dot skyrocketph.com, or you can look for me on Facebook if you need some live coaching. I give the first session for free so we can discuss what you need and we can plan out your plans in life. For in the Philippines, life coaching is very, very new and it's kind of weird for some people. Why do you need a coach in life? So imagine, like I say, you want to improve in basketball. You need a coach, right? You hire a trainer. You have it's the same thing. It doesn't mean that you have to improve in life, but it comes with it. Let's say you want to achieve a goal, then you can have like a life coach to help you achieve that goal and help you stay on track. Okay. Yeah, and then I noticed there was actually a question earlier, very, very early, while
Yeah.
you were talking about his name is Marvin, and he's asking, what if I don't, that he's having a hard time getting clients, and he's spent his connect already, all his connect. What you can do is use the project catalog. It's a great feature that you have
Thanks, Job.
because right? It's because a lot of times the client does you don't get the clients because it's all about trust. They don't trust you yet. They don't know you. They don't think that you can do the job. But if you use a project catalog, you can show them this is what I can do. Okay, so it will show your skills. So that will help you. It's twofold. So you can get someone else to buy that project catalog, to buy from your project catalog, and you could also get some future clients as well. And then for those who's asking where I got my certification, I trained in Singapore and Adobe. And for Black Magic Design, it's an invite only for all the trainers. You can actually get an exam, take an exam. It's there's some testing centers here to become an Adobe-certified associate. That's the lowest that you can go to. There's an Adobe certified associate, Adobe certified expert, and then instructor. It's not easy, and that's what I spend most of my time studying because they always release new features. So you have constantly, it's literally like you're in college. You have to study every day, so you should always updated. And then of course still work at Upwork. Working remotely has been for me one of the best decision I ever did. I mentioned this to Avery before. I started Upwork or Odesk before, uh, just so that I have some extra money for electricity, and it turns out better because I was able to travel all over, buy some buy a property, not some, buy a property, from the house,
Madami.
buy buy some vehicles, okay, and then live the life that I want to, and it's an advantage. We have an advantage during this pandemic because we're already used to working at home, and then
Mhm.
the demand for freelancers is literally went up. Even during 2019, actually, I was studying the freelancer, uh, those data from Upwork because I presented it during my Talk and Knowledge channel, because one of the skills that is in demand right now is DaVinci Resolve, which was number two during the 2019 freelancer report by Upwork. So it's something that you can also study if you're working in videos and media. So study Resolve. That's one of the tips that I can give you. And yeah, always protect your time. Be cautious with one big thing is try to stay away from anxiety inducing apps.
Mhm.
Anxiety inducing app includes number one is Facebook. So when you're browsing Facebook, be mindful on how what you feel. Like say, let's say you're pro government and you see something against a government. What do you feel? You get irritated, right? Or let's say
Mhm.
you're pro Robredo and you see something against her, you get irritated. Why do you subject yourself to that irritation? Why do you want to be anxious? Or do you send they would post or you see a post something about, oh, we're gonna be in lockdown again, etc. So why do you make yourself suffer? So stay away from those. Okay, and just look for positive things in life. So in the morning, write down a gratitude list. If you're feeling really down, okay, if you get rejected with all the submissions or proposals, write things that are good in your life right now. Remember,
Mhm.
it's not you. Maybe they're not the right client for you. So just write down. So don't feel down. So write every in the morning. Just write 10 things that you are thankful for, or maybe in the evening, and that will really change your mood, really change your outlook in life. And don't say you can't do it. Always add the word yet. You can't do it yet. So that shifts your mindset to a negative mindset, to a fixed mindset, to a growth mindset, so that you'll know you'll be improving in the future with more time. Yeah. So yeah, thank you again for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Job, for sharing your time with us. We really learned a lot. I learned a lot. So, and a lot of people are like thanking you right now for the presentation. They really found it really valuable. So, if any of you have further questions, you can reach out to Job. You can reach out to me. We'll try our best to answer you at the best time possible. But yeah, thank you to everyone. We hope to see you on our next event, which is next year. So yeah, thank you everyone. Have a good day. Stay safe. Keep social distancing. Bye. Bye,
Thank you.
Jobs.
Bye, Bree.